Hello, Alex Lafkus here. I'm gonna head to the Boardman River tomorrow morning and do a little wade fishing. Now, it's not something I have a ton of confidence in, but whatever. It's a rough time of year for it. We're in the middle of a giant heat wave, so it's like the low tonight 65 or something, which is less than ideal. I'm gonna throw some streamers. I want to kind of show you guys some stuff about wade fishing with streamers. Midsummer, warm water, so I'm taking a few things, standard issue, Black Ghost, this little mini peanut envy thing, whites, little lychee thing, some olive, some yellow, and I got some sparkle minnows too, but we'll see if, I'm going to go early, so I'm not sure it's going to be ideal for it. But yeah, I don't know how the fishing will be. We're in like the worst possible weather conditions. Nippers, some 8-pound, some hemostats, and just a little chest pack because less is more. I'm just gonna go for an hour or so and see what happens. So hopefully we'll catch some fish, but never know. Hope this helps though. That's the biggest thing. That's why we're doing this. Enjoy. All right, we're out here this morning, all rigged up with my. I'm going to start with yellow today. See if this helps you guys at all. I'm fishing some fast water. So I brought the sink tip, 200 grain. And I'll just kind of putz around. We'll see what we can do. Can't tell if that was just a hydraulic or not. You just start out nice and easy. Fish what's close to you. I think people get really aggressive with their wading, and typically I like to stay a little bit shallower and then work my way to the deeper runs. So I know we have a good spot here coming into some deeper water. But I'm looking at this little cut right here by shore. And I just want to fish these little trenches. Ooh, come on. And I have a tendency to kind of walk and wade as well. I kind of keep with that streamer mentality of, covering water, finding aggressive fish. And in this faster current, I'm not stripping it as fast because the current, there was a little knock there. Okay, so we got a color on they're gonna look at. But in this speed of current, usually you can fish the fly a little slower. If it's super slow, that's when you might speed it up a little. But in this speed, I'm going to kind of fish it slow and let those fish come get it. Notice I'm also staying, you can see, trying to stay as far away from the good area as I can. You're wading, boat, anything scares these fish. So if you can fish it from a little further away, typically you have a better chance catching a bigger fish. And just getting that one little knock to start does tell me I'm on the right track with color. And I'm gonna work every little thing I see. Like right there was like a little dark something in the middle of the river, and I want to bring that fly even by that. And once again, just staying, I'm wading in ankle deep water right now, and I'm just kind of roll casting to hit the areas I want to hit, so I can keep myself as far away as possible. That's probably something people aren't doing enough. Give those fish distance. They live in a small area their whole lives, for the most part. They know when something is different. But when I'm waiting, I kind of tend to just, when I have a good bank like that, it's a deep run, kind of coming in, and I'm going to kind of hit that streamer every about foot or so. You know, if I'm in a boat, I'm going to kind of hit it a little different, go a little quicker, but in this situation, I'm not. So what's going to happen here is I'm starting to look at this soft wood that's going to be on this river left here. And I definitely want to fish that. So I feel like I fished a lot of this. I'm going to start sliding out to the middle and casting back to that slower wood. That is an ideal type of spot. I still like this little run here, so I'm going to fish in the middle of the river here before making my way all the way across. And so once I kind of work my way across, once again, I'm staying way to the inside. And I'm going to take a few extra casts here. I mean, this is a sweet looking eddy, back spot, back eddy. And I'm just going to kind of pop that thing through the run as much as I can and kind of keep it in that strike zone. You know, in slower water, you can work that thing a little faster, but in this fast water, I kind of try to let it hang a little more. And a couple casts, in, out, whatever. Then you start moving down. Now here's a nice night spot that we're just gonna hit quick. Is that inside? Kind of missed it there, but it's not a presentation I like, but if something's up there, for you, if it was suicidal, I'm just gonna, there it is, that's better. That's gonna come through that. I don't know if I'd ever hook anything, but if you're mousing at night, that's gonna be your devastating cast for this hole. Devastation. Kind of a lot of clay out there in the middle, which I don't know. I don't really catch a ton of fish on those clay holes anyway, so not that worried about it. I'm gonna try to stay as up on the bank here just to, you know, prevent spooking anything downstream. Try. You're not gonna, but at least you can do what you can. So I'm just staying as shallow as I can coming through a lot of this. You know, and this is also ultra low water, middle of summer, so a lot of times those fish are more related to the pits than the shallow edges unless it's dark. Nobody home. Oh, come on. Not really spooking anything either. I don't know, doesn't feel like the... whatever, just going fishing. And I'm trying to wait as quiet and, you know, kind of just slow and quiet, trying not to spook anything here. If there's anything to spook. Heart of the hole, not much in there. Usually your aggressive fish are going to slide to the tops or the bottoms, so it's not too surprising to not see much in there. As I get down towards this back end, I start liking the looks of it more. Now we've got some sunken wood and trenchy stuff on the right too, so now I'm going to slide out and kind of fish from the middle a little more. It's a tricky little river to wade, it's deep. But whatever, when it's 70 degrees out. Probably not gonna die. But I'm always looking, you know, streamer fishing in general, I'm always looking at the top end trenches that feed a good hole. A lot of times your bigger fish just creep up into that stuff. So, because they have a straight track to the deep, you know, either they shuffle straight across to the inside or they go up and drop down when they're scared. So I'm gonna fish both sides in here. Just see what we can come up with. Then when I get into the main hole, I'm gonna have to stick to the left because it does get deep in there. When I'm working it, I'm kind of starting up in those shallows and pulling it out semi-quick to the deeper edge of the wood. You know, fish it kind of conservative. If they chase, you might be able to get them to grab it on the deeper side of it, and then you won't get hung up either. That probably scared everything for a mile. I'm liking the looks of that depth on the right. I want to make sure to get one there. Once again, that's your night spot. You know, if you're mousing and stuff, they're going to be usually either on this wood on the right, but I would assume the last flat spot down there, or the first flat spot directly across from the deep hole. That's pretty lay down night fishing stuff. The more current you have, the easier it is to identify those night spots. Usually shallow and slow for night. And I'm really gonna pick at this wood pile. I mean, you can see a ton of good stuff in there. Problem is, if that fish is really in there, he can be way up in there and never see your stuff. So like, a lot of these big wood piles look great, which they are. They're great habitat. But sometimes pulling fish out of them can be hard because they're not available. You know, like you look at a lot of those western rivers that guys are fishing, and a lot of those fish, you know, if they don't have deep water, they don't have much of a place to hide. In Michigan, we don't, you know, we got these wood piles that create a real sanctuary for fish, which is fun and don't make catching them super easy, that's for damn sure, but whatever. What it is. We'll try the ghost. And there is a video of this up too, in case you actually care. It's just a marabou black ghost. It's the dumbest little thing in the world, but it can be very effective. So whatever, you just run, just keep switching. Had a couple little pocket knife deals. Look at the at the yellow first, but then it kind of went dead for a second. So I don't know. I don't know if it's light angle, something changed, or they were out a little bit, or I was in a good spot. Typically, I just float this section. I'm doing this because I had some requests to do some wade fishing stuff. But, you know, as Russ always says, wade fishing is for people without boats. And it's true. Once you get in a boat and fish, you get a little jaded and spoiled. There's some times, you know, like winter's fine when you don't need to cover a ton of water. But anytime you're going to look for an active fish, it's always better to be able to cover water. Now I know there's something in there. Whether or not I can get bit, that's a different question. But you look at that pace, it's only structured around for a minute. There's something in there. I'll take a few extra casts in there. There's definitely something in there. Slow your cast down to get maximum extension into spots like that too. People want to rush everything. And it's, you know, if you're needing to pinch your loop casting, slow down is better. You'll get a little narrower loop. Oh great, traveler, failure. Got a chunk of weeds there. Then we're coming in this next little corner, and I'm gonna veer off to the right. You see the lighter sand colored bottom, so, well, it's not sand, but fine gravel. So I know to slide left, and I'm able to fish this. Rod. That looked good. Always trying to cross the seam whenever you're fishing those bubble lines and stuff. You always start inside of those bubble lines and come through them. A lot of times those fish will jump it right on that edge. Oh, right by the last rod. Nothing. I do fish way out in front of myself doing this. You know, it's just, it's a wade fishing thing, man. You gotta fish away from yourself, and small river thing in general too. The bigger the river, the more you can get away with the perpendicular angle, which I do like quite a bit. And we're kind of at the top end of the next trench, you know, so you fish the crossover, the tail out, whatever, in the bubble line. Then I start seeing the wood that's settled here. So if I don't have to go in there, so here's that little roll cast to save your fly. Yep, done. Perfect. So now I don't have to go in there and trash that run, because I'm right at the top end of what I like. Almost did it again. But, you know, a lot of that comes with casting that tight line, able to control it, so if you're 6 inches too long, you can pull right back from it too. Ooh, hit the wood on the inside, might as well. Oh, there was a little grabber off that little junk right there. Oh, failure. But that was definitely a fish. That is a nice little spot though. You know, just a little bit more depth. A little bit on the inside off current. Probably a great mousing spot if you're into that sort of thing. Well, that kind of sucked, but it's not that surprising. You know, the objective this morning was give you guys a little bit of technique, which I think I did. So that was kind of the deal this morning, was just try to show you some of what I do wade fishing. Typically, you know, the biggest things to keep in mind are keeping as much distance as you can from the deepest water, and your targets. But I hope you guys learned something, because that's the only reason you got me in waders. I'm not sure what I hate more about wade fishing. Is it the wearing the waders, or that I have nowhere to carry my coffee? Both are very bad. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.